make sure that we record this call. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, gentlemen, from wherever in the world you are. You made it. Congratulations. I'm so excited that you get an opportunity to spend just a little bit of time tonight listening to some information that I know for me 5 years ago absolutely changed my entire life. And I'm going to share that information with you just as it was shared with me. Now, my name is Dr. Chyna Bethley. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I can tell you guys right now, I am extremely excited about the conversation that we're going to have tonight. I'm extremely excited about the decision that I am going to put you guys in a position to make on tonight based on the information that you hear. And so I own a company called Rich University. God gave me the vision for it a little bit more than 7 years ago, where I help people, especially women of color and minorities, to normalize the wealth conversation, but not just the wealth conversation, the wealth reality. I want to help everybody that's inside of our communities who may not have had access to the information that we now have access to and the information that we now provide to others. I want to put them in a position to be able to not just have a wealth conversation, but a wealth reality inside of our community, right? And so with that being said, I partner with a company that provides amazing software and technology, apps, and all these amazing educational platform that teaches us how to trade inside of the money markets. And I've always been invested. I've invested now for about 15 years in different things like real estate, gold, like physical gold, bullion, bars, physical silver coins, ounces of coins. I've always invested into things like that, as well as different businesses. But 5 years ago, I was introduced to the world of foreign exchange and cryptocurrency and binary options that really just shifted everything. If you've ever invested into something like real estate, just drop ones in the chat. I'm interested in seeing who's already invested in some shape, form, or fashion. Or if you've ever invested into maybe a business, whether it's your own business, another business, just go ahead and drop those ones in the chat for me if you've ever invested. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, I can tell you guys right now, this particular asset class that we're going to be discussing tonight has superseded anything that I've ever done before. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of this conversation in just a moment, but I just wanted to kind of set the stage a bit as to how I got here, why somebody would have invited you here, why you want to start to thank them right now for even considering you and for even inviting you to this private, exclusive, elite conversation that we're going to have tonight. I can tell you right now, you know, I've sat around a lot of people, have access to a lot of rooms, have invested a lot into having access into these rooms and getting personal and professional development and, you know, getting private levels of education. But tonight, I just want to go ahead and make you aware that we're going to be having an elite level of education and information type of a conversation. Is that okay? The type of conversation we're going to have tonight is an elite level of education and information type of conversation. And what that may mean is that what I share may or may not be familiar to you, depending on where you've gotten your education, right? So here's what I can tell you. There's 3 levels of education. There's the public level that's free for all. The public level simply means that for me growing up, I never forget, growing up in New Orleans, Louisiana, I went to a public school in elementary. I went to a public school in elementary. If you've ever went to a public school, go ahead and drop 2s in the chat. If you've ever went to a public school and you can relate, drop 2s in the chat, right? As I just set the stage for just a moment, as we continue to get more people on this call. Now, going to a public school, there was only one real serious requirement. And that requirement was that I lived in this particular area to determine what school I went to. That I lived in a particular area to determine what school I went to, right? And that I was of a certain age to determine what grade I was going to be in starting off. Does that make sense? There was no other prerequisites. There was no other requirement. And going to the public school, I received public information. I received public information. Now, some of you may disagree and say, well, the same thing you were taught in public school, they taught in private school. Well, maybe some of the curriculums were similar, but there was other things that they were able to learn in a private setting that I did not gain in a public setting. And I'm going to break that down to you in just a moment. Now, if I wanted to go to private school, which I did, I went to private school when I was in high school. My mom had to pay for it. My dad had to pay for this education. But watch this. Now, this education that they paid for, if you've ever went to private school, drop threes in the chat. Drop threes in the chat if you've ever had to pay for education, whether it be through your grade school or even in college, right? They had to pay for this education. They had to pay for me to have access to this setting, to this curriculum, to this community of other people, watch this, who were also willing to pay the price. Now, there was a difference, I can tell you, in that experience for me. My public setting was free for all, just free for anybody. You live here, you go there. You live here, you go there. You of this age, you go here. That's it, right? But in the private sector, I had to pay for this education. But here's the thing, it did not guarantee me anything. There was no guarantees that the education that was paid for was going to guarantee that I was going to make a certain amount of money. It wasn't going to guarantee that I was going to work in a certain field. It wasn't going to guarantee that I was going to be successful. There was no guarantees. And so what I'm sharing with you tonight is that what I'm going to provide is an elite level of education and information that would have had to be passed down through the bloodline for you to even be aware. This is the type of education that you could not have paid for. You would have just had to be connected to a particular bloodline of wealth that would have passed down this information to you. Because what I'm going to share with you tonight, the foundation of it is not new. It's been around for hundreds of years. However, the reason that I'm so passionate about women of color and minorities specifically is because we've been excluded from this conversation until now. We haven't had access to this information until now. So even though it's not new, for many of us, it's new to us. So what I want you to know tonight, you have an appointment with destiny, and whoever invited you here, you want to have an extreme amount of gratitude for them just allowing you a seat in the room. You want to have an extreme amount of gratitude for them inviting you into this room and allowing you to have a seat at the table. Now, what we're going to be discussing tonight, please write this down at the top of your paper, is what I would like to call the new rules of money. What we're going to talk about, the new rules of money. Why am I so passionate about having this conversation with women of color and minorities specifically? Because we don't always have conversations about money. And if we are having conversations about money, depending on how you grew up, maybe it's limited conversations or conversations of lack thereof. Does that make sense? Like, for example, there was times in my mom's household, in my dad's household, when we discussed money, it was sometimes about what we could not get. And I'm just having transparent conversation with you guys. I don't know if you guys want to raise your hand if you could relate, but that's okay, right? The conversation was about, listen, wait until next week. Then we'll maybe we can get it. Or in 2 weeks when I get paid, maybe we can get this. Or what we could not get because the money wasn't there. So it's important that we start to talk about money. It's important because, watch this, guys, we're at the beginning of a brand new era concerning money. Usually the currency cycle lasts about 100 years. It's almost up for the dollars in the currency that we know is money today. There's a new form of currency that's already been introduced, right? We're already in this digital phase. Somebody said that the future of money is digital. Whether you agree or not, whether you choose to participate or not, it doesn't stop the fact that the future of money is digital. Now, the question then becomes, how are you maximizing it? How are you participating so that you can become, right, a benefactor of the fact that the future of money is digital? We couldn't do nothing about being at the forefront of what was happening with the US dollar. right? We got in kind of late, most of us. I'm a millennial. I don't know about you guys, but there was nothing. Now, this is just what was handed to me, and it is what it is. Well, now we have an opportunity to participate at the forefront of something that's huge, and I need you to know whether you decide to participate or not, it's happening either in front of you, around you, or it could happen underneath you where you're a benefactor of it. So let's talk about what I'm sharing with you specifically. Let me give you guys some visuals because I'm a very visual learner. How many of you are hearing about Bitcoin? How many of you are hearing about Bitcoin? By dropping ones in the chat, who's at least hearing the word Bitcoin? I'm gonna educate you tonight. It's gonna be very important that you get some education, because if you don't get the proper education, I promise you, there are people that know you don't have the education and could prey on you. That's why education in the new rules of money is gonna be extremely important. What's going to be important? Your education is going to be extremely important. So what is Bitcoin? I'm going to break it down in the most simplistic way. And all I did here was a simple search on Google for Bitcoin. And what happened is that it popped up the current price of Bitcoin, right? It popped up the current price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now in this very moment is $46,000, $46,956.90. So some of you like, well, what I'm on this call for? What we talking about this for? Because that might be out of your budget right now. And I want you to pause for a second and say the future of money is digital and I can participate. I can participate. Start to invite yourself in. Start to include yourself in, right? Because even though in this very moment, this Bitcoin, this digital currency, this decentralized digital currency is $46,000, you still can participate in it for a fraction of the coin. You could participate in Bitcoin with just $10 invested into this particular currency. Now, that may be a different term because traditionally, when we're talking about money, you invest your money into something, but how are you going to invest your money into the currency? So let me break this down to you guys right now. When you put your money in a traditional bank, it used to be that the host was for your money to grow. Now you only putting your money in the bank usually to pay your bills, because the banking relationship currently is not what it used to be. The bank is giving you dust on your money at the end of the year, 0.000123% or something like that. So no longer is it really beneficial for your money to just sit in the bank. If you guys know anything about economics and finances, then you know it's no longer an investment for you. It's no longer something that you're expecting to yield a return because they're giving you dust on your money, right? That's just transparently. But if you put your money into Bitcoin, which is the fastest growing, watch this, asset class of our time. What is it? It is the fastest growing asset class of our time. Then what it does is it gives you the potential for your money to grow. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, let me break it down to you like this. Bitcoin has been around since 2019. Take notes. 2009. It's been around since 2009. Therefore, Bitcoin is 12 years old. Bitcoin, when it first came to market, was worth 1 cent. How much was it worth? 1 cent. Today it's worth $46,000. What this means is if you had the opportunity 12 years ago to invest, to put money in, to save in Bitcoin, even if you only saved $10, you would be very wealthy right now. That $10 would now today, 12 years later, be worth tens of millions of dollars. Does that make sense? If you put $10 in your bank 12 years ago, right, and you never deposited or withdrew anything else, you might not have nothing left because of the fees just to hold it there. So the difference is now your money has the potential to grow in this particular asset class that has outperformed every other investment or every other asset class of our time. I'm talking about it has outperformed gold. It has outperformed silver. It has outperformed real estate. It has outperformed oil. It has outperformed any company that you can think of, Tesla, Google, Facebook, whatever, Apple, and it's only 12 years old. Now, what's so powerful about this particular decentralized currency is that these cryptocurrencies is more than just Bitcoin. What I could appreciate about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin, all of these particular coins serve a purpose. This particular coin's purpose is really to eradicate poverty. So for the first time in our lifetime, this wealth gap that is really widening by the day is shrinking by the second for those of us who have access. What do you mean? We have an opportunity to invest into coins like Bitcoin, to invest into coins like Ethereum, to invest into coins like OMI or Superbid or XRP or Cardano or Polkadot, these cryptocurrencies that all have projects that are backing them. They all have utilizations that solve problems. And when you understand them and you invest into them, your money can grow significantly. Let me give you guys an example. Here's what the US dollar has done since 1913. The money that you know is money, what most people are connecting their wealth to, has been depreciating. This is not China's philosophy. This is the facts. The US dollar has been depreciating since 1913. So then why would you want to save? Now remember, I asked in the beginning if you were the decision maker on a call. Now I want to have a real conversation with you. I don't want you to just listen to this information for training purposes, and I'm definitely not here to entertain tonight. I want you to listen to this information with a level of understanding and awareness as to what your next move is. Now, if the US dollar has been declining, depreciating, falling since 1913, that means that every morning that you wake up, whatever you have in the bank, whatever you have to the side is worth less. $100 bill has not been worth $100 since 1913. In fact, right now it's not even worth $10, your $100 bill. So now you have the exact reverse opposite when we're talking about Bitcoin. Let me give you guys another illustration. I'm a very visual person, so let me give you guys an illustration. This is the US dollar, and this is a perfect explanation and example of what an illustration of what inflation looks like. Inflation is silently robbing you of your purchasing power and has been since 1913. So in 1929, you could have gotten a whole basket full of groceries for $20. In 1960, you could have gotten still some decent amount of groceries for $20. In 2014, you could barely get anything for $20. And now nobody don't even carry cash with them anymore. Would you agree? Nobody's physically carrying cash barely in their pockets. The Bitcoin gives you the exact opposite. Is a hedge of protection against inflation. I look at it like this. Gold and silver is God's money. It has an intrinsic value connected to it. The US dollar, the Japanese yen, the Great British pound, the Mexican peso is the government's money. You only believe its value. The value is connected to your belief and your confidence. It's really not valuable. It's just a means of exchange. The US dollar is a means of exchange for what you do have value for. If you have value for that house, you're making a means of exchange with this fiat currency for what you really have value for. But the truth is that piece of paper ain't hitting on 2 nickels. But when you talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, you're talking about the people's currency. It is the equalizer. It is even the playing fields. You don't have to agree with me. It's happening now. There's so much social proof. You got people who've invested into Bitcoin who don't have as many degrees as the next person, but because they had the right information, the right access, and they took the proper actions, guess what? Their money is consistently increasing. So here, it doesn't matter how many degrees you have. So with Bitcoin 2012, you could barely get anything. With the 2013, you can get a lot more. 2014, a lot more. And 2020, you can go into an investment with somebody and buy the whole store because of how Bitcoin is growing. So now I want to give you an opportunity. I want to show you where Bitcoin is headed. I want to put you in a position to really see why this is really so powerful, not just for you, but even for your family, right? So we know that right now Bitcoin is 46,000, but what's the urgency? The urgency is that Citibank analysts is projected already that Bitcoin could surpass $300,000 this year, 2021. So why should you be urgently getting involved? Because you want to invest your money as quickly as possible, as low as possible, because the philosophy is to buy low. Come in as low as you possibly can. When I got involved in Bitcoin, it was $3,500 a coin. And I never really put money into it aggressively, but I always put money into it consistently. So it didn't matter if it was up or down, because from 2012 until 2021, we way up. So every single week, I put a couple of $100 into the market. And over the last 3 years, I've been consistently just saving in Bitcoin. So we're going to consistently be up. So if Bitcoin is projected by Citibank analysts to be 6 figures this year, you can have a very merry crypto Christmas for those that take action. I say, where the action takers at? So now that you understand a little bit about the future of money being digital, let me show you what we provide and why we're number one in the world for what we do, and why we have access to a whole machine that's backing us, that's going to put you in the best financial position to not miss out on not just cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, but this whole digital world. What we provide to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the Academy. This Academy gives you access to several videos. Now, these videos are amazing in its curriculum. It provides you not only access to digital currencies like Bitcoin, but it also provides you access to the Foreign Exchange Academy. Now, this academy is really, really powerful. It's been around the Forex market for hundreds of years, ladies and gentlemen. And we never had access to it. I don't know about you. Maybe you did have access to it. Maybe you came from a very, very, very wealthy family who shared this information with you, and you're a 3-4 year generation, you know, somebody that's been investing into crypto, foreign exchange, and you've already known about it. Maybe that's the case, but for me, it wasn't. So when I found out about it, I understood that this blessing wasn't just for me. And so what this does is it puts you in a position to start trading inside of the foreign exchange market. Now, here's the reality. You're already participating in the foreign exchange market. My goal tonight now is for you to be a benefactor of it. So what I want to show you is a quick short video that's going to break down to you what you will get for those of you that are ready to take action, for those of you that are decision makers, to begin to learn about the world of foreign exchange, binary options, cryptocurrencies in a digital exchange world, and how you could benefit from it even as you are learning. Now, for those of you who feel like you don't have a lot of time, you don't need it. This is a 4-minute video that's going to enlighten you seriously. So watch this quick video.
Welcome to the I Am Mastery Academy for Forex. In this course, we'll be talking about what is FRX. Forex can be professionally abbreviated as FX or FRX. This basically is the short term for foreign exchange. It is the official trading market where one can exchange different currencies across the globe. As many countries are backed by their own banks, this allows citizens to use a currency which, in turn, creates an economy. The better an economy thrives, the stronger that currency can become. When anyone travels to other countries, they can participate in the foreign exchange market manually by simply exchanging their own native currency for the one they are visiting. As decades passed, the internet grew worldwide, and Forex found its way online, where traders from any place on Earth could trade currencies digitally, turning over profits from the comfort of their own homes. To give you an idea as to the size of the Forex market, the London Stock Exchange, on average, will trade daily around $7 billion US. The Tokyo Stock Exchange will trade roughly around 18 billion, and the New York Stock Exchange can trade about $22 billion daily. Forex, on the other hand, averages trades of over $5 trillion every single day. It is, without doubt, the largest and most liquid market in the entire world. So, let's review. Forex is the market where all the money in the world is being exchanged in real time through currencies. And because of this very particular type of market, Forex attracts many types of investors who see a vast array of opportunities which can create a lucrative career trading within this exchange. The Forex market opens every Sunday 5 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, and ends every Friday, 5 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time. A key word to remember in this course is geopolitical factors. Geopolitical factors are all factors relating to the resources of world nations. Rivers, mountains, minerals, gas, oil, labor forces, population, politics, and religion, for example, are such factors. It is all these critical components undergoing dramatic changes at once that greatly affects every currency, allowing opportunity for any investor to capitalize on it. It is important to understand that Forex is a very powerful market, and with great power comes great responsibility. Through the continuing education of the IM Mastery Academy, you can learn step by step about the Forex market and how to properly respect and trade from within it on your own. It will take time to fully understand. Yet, if you commit right now to at least 10 minutes of learning a day, that's at least one video, you can see results. Hundreds of thousands have already financially changed their lives for the better because they made that choice. This concludes our course. One of the best ways to remember anything new is to tell someone what you just learned. Steps like these will greatly enhance your results and shorten the learning curve. Improving the quality of your life comes down to one very important and powerful question. What will you become? You got this, and we'll see you in the next video.
Excellent. So as you guys can see, we're talking about 10 minutes a day that's really helping to impact the lives of so many people. So for those of you that are busy professionals, that are parents, that are students, that are working multiple jobs, this platform, this academy has been designed for you to not be left out of the largest wealth transfer of our time. So what that means is no one has any excuses as to why they cannot participate in literally learning a skill that will allow you to grow pennies into dollars, dollars into hundreds, and hundreds into thousands. So what you're looking at here is a series of videos, right? We have series 100, very basic information. This is for the person who knows absolutely nothing about foreign exchange, nothing about cryptocurrency, nothing about binary options. Okay, series 200, series 300, and series 400. And so this is highly professional videos that are provided to you. Now, not only do we want to give you pre-recorded videos, we want to give you a live experience, right? You need a live experience. If you're anything like me, the pre-recorded videos are nice. Thank you very much. I'm able to take some notes, but I'm a hands-on learner. If you're a hands-on learner, just drop twos in the chat. You need a little bit more than some videos that you can go and watch. If that's you, then just drop twos in the chat, because I don't know. I might have some questions. I don't know if I really understood, but I just watched. I don't really know. I wasn't taught this growing up. So I need a little bit more guidance. If that's you, drop twos in the chat. If you just need a little bit more guidance than just watching some pre-recorded videos. So for me, this is very important for me. We have a go live session, right? In our go lives, we have over 200 educators, right? Why is that important? That's important to me because you know what? I may have a great way of teaching for some people, but there's other people who may not learn so well just from one person. So we have over 200 educators that we provide to you in multiple different languages because we're a global business. I shared with you guys in the beginning, we are #1 in the world for what we do. We are the largest Forex, cryptocurrency, binary options, educational platform in the world. We cover all things blockchain, NFTs, DeFi, very important. And so it's in multiple different languages. We're in 120 countries around the world. These are our top 5 weekly featured educators, okay, and all different educating platforms. And so what happens is this, let's just say you got about 30 minutes on a lunch break and you want to just, begin to enhance your learning about this world so that you can make more money. You can learn while you can earn while you learn, but as you're learning, it helps you to earn even more money. So let's say you hop into one of our sessions with HFX. HFX is basically making money in minutes, right? And you can literally hop on, let's just say lunchtime with one of our educators, and you click on the educator's face, her session would pop up right here if she was live. If this session was live, live, it will pop up right here, and bam, you would have access to actually going into trades with her. What does that mean? She's the person that's doing the geopolitical analyzing the geopolitical activities in the market. She's the person that's looking at currency pairs to determine which one is stronger, which one is weaker. She understands indicators. Nobody's guessing, nobody's gambling. Please write that on your paper. We are not guessing and gambling and throwing out numbers to you. Okay, we're looking at what's happening in the world. And just as you watched in that video, everything affects money. And so now she's learned from what she's learned, she's applying those strategies and those techniques to determine what she believes is going to happen in the market. Now, our tools and our banking software are about 87% accurate. And if you hop on a session with her, you'll notice she's not just coming up with this stuff in her mind. She's utilizing highly sophisticated software, which is another game changer. So when you're looking at us, you got to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. We don't have another apple in the field for you to compare it to. Why? Because the highly sophisticated banking software that we provide gives us an extreme amount of accuracy when you learn how to use it. So as you're learning how to use it, you now have access to multiple educators so that you can identify who your learning style connects with the most. You can identify what educators on when it makes the most sense for you to trade throughout the day. Does that make sense? Very important for making real decisions, okay? And so once again, her session will be right here and you would have access to that. So here's what I want to do now, and then we'll close it out in just a moment. I want you to hear from some of the Rich University members that are on with us right now. If you're part of the Rich University family, go ahead and drop some lion heads in the chat. I would love to hear a few testimonies from you guys of how this academy has helped you make money. What are some of your takeaways for working with Rich University? I see that we have Amaya on. Bam, I'm unmuting you. I'm not sure if you're in a position as well, but go ahead and raise your hands if you guys have testimonies. Come on, I'd love to hear you. Hey, Amaya, come on in.
Hey, Dr. Chyna. I am just so grateful for this opportunity. I remember vividly two years ago, back in 2019, I knew people were making money trading. I mean, I saw a lot of people become wealthy, especially living in Atlanta, trading and investing. However, you know, nobody really wanted to let me in. Nobody really wanted to share the information. And so when I looked at this, I said, oh no, this is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. You know, I needed to have access. And so I'm so grateful because 2019, August, I got started. I spent the first 30 days just in the academy, going through the videos, learning from the educators. And I remember September, just a month in, I put in my live account with $100. Within 3 months, I was able to actually grow that live account from $100 to well above $7,000. And my life literally changed from there.
Wow.
It's been absolutely incredible. And to be honest, when I first started trading, even when I was live, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was following the educators, getting on with one of the educators on the platform. And literally all I was doing was just following. When she said press buy, I was pressing buy. When she said press sell, I was pressing sell. And so the first 3 months when I was making money, I really was still learning at the same time. And so this has been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for your leadership and just exposing and bringing awareness to this.
Absolutely. I'm super excited as well. It is such a blessing just to hear how people are making money and really winning inside of this space. So congratulations to you for taking the time to learn a skill and then applying the information that you learned and now seeing profits. So I love it. We have another testimony coming on in. Hey, K. Marie, come on in. We'd love to hear from you as well.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Chyna. Good evening, guests. My name is K. Marie. I've been rich for a year and 5 months. Prior to this space, I was actually working in the education field, and I was working there for a career over 11 years. Now, mind you, I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, and when I tell you this space has been absolutely amazing, within only 6 months into this opportunity, I was actually able to walk away from an 11-year career. It was so crazy because just like how Maya mentioned, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just very coachable and really jumped in the academy and started to learn. So I started to make more than what I was making on my 8 hours a day at work. So that was major. So that was like a no-brainer for me. And long and behold, my husband and I, we have been able to actually decrease our monthly bills down less than $2,000 from what we were paying before. So that goes to show you we were able to pay off a lot of things within this opportunity. I'm so much more knowledgeable in cryptocurrency. I didn't know anything about trading or the cryptocurrency market or the foreign currency market. Now we have crypto portfolios where our money is now working for us. So this space has been a blessing, and I recommend anyone, you just have to be coachable. You don't have to know anything about this, but give yourself some time and you're going to learn a lot of information inside of this space. So thank you, Dr. Chyna, for blessing us with this community.
Wow, that's amazing. I love what you said. In 6 months, guys, that's for anybody that's interested in walking away from their job. She was able to leave her job. Now, we can't make any guarantees or promises as to what's going to happen for you, but I think it's extremely amazing that that was even possible for you to walk away from your job. We have another testimony here. Come on in. Kirk, your line is now, it should be unmuted. Wow, this is amazing. Hey, Kirk.
Hello, Dr. Chyna. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. Come on in.
Awesome. Listen, I just want to give a quick testimony on how Rich University has helped me and let the Kings know that there are kings out here that's making this thing happen as well. I want you guys to know that this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I have spent my birthday weekend not just celebrating my birthday, but also celebrating a promotion in my first 2 months of being involved in Rich University and IM Academy. And also to just let people know that this opportunity is a real opportunity, and it's not some fly-by-night. It's not something that you would just test out and see if it works. It does work. The main thing is when I first got started in, not more than 2 months ago, it's actually not even 2 months yet, and I've been promoted 3 times in this space. Also growing my account well, I ain't gonna say the number because we can't do that, but it's actually grown according to the chart and the blueprint that was given by Dr. Chyna and the Rich University. It's just an amazing tool and vehicle if you ever want to just do this by listening and learning and being coachable. It's like all you have to do is just plug into all the meetings, plug into all the conversations, plug into the educators in the back office. And it's just so much to just learn. I'm excited of where my future is headed in the next, year. It's only 2 months in, and I'm already making more money in this business that I've done in a lot of businesses I've spent years in. This is amazing, guys. And I'm just trying to hype this up. I'm just telling you what is fact, because I came in this space not knowing what to do, how to do it, didn't know anything about Forex, didn't know anything about trading, didn't know anything about any of this stuff. But I was listening to my mentor, Dr. Chyna, and this woman is amazing at just leading you to where you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to get there. Just do what she tells you to do, and I promise you'll get there. I'm going to get off this phone because I'm excited, I'm happy, and I'm going to give it back to you.
Wow, that is so amazing. I just want to say congratulations. That's huge. 2 months. It's so crazy. It's only been 2 months. He's been promoted 3 times, as you just heard him mention. He's growing his account. The product is working, and that's phenomenal. Now, we can't move on because I see my husband on the line, and this is the king of Rich University. And I would be remiss for you not to hear from this king right here, who's also been recently promoted after watching me for many years inside the space. Drop some 9s in the chat. Y'all know what to do, Rich. For the king of Rich University, none other than Mr. Logic Mix. Come on in here, my husband, my amazing husband. I am so godly proud of you. Congratulations again on not just utilizing the product, but opening up the doors for so many more people to win. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Oh man, thank you so much, Dr. Chyna. I love you so much. I wanted to tap in and tell everybody about the Rich University and my journey in Rich University. Not as your husband, as your, as a student of the game from the leadership that you provide. So to the people out there, I had to remove myself from myself to become coachable in this space to go chairman. And, being at Rich University, under my wife, learning how to use these great products that we all have, right? Access to, the trading side and also the building side has allowed me to go chairman, right? It's disciplined me as a person, as a husband, to understand the business side of, you know, what it takes to go charity, right? Versus, you know, Dr. Chyna said, well, the trading good, the trading is great, you know, but residual is always, you know, because what happens when it's flow and trading, right? That residual, that residual kick, right? So, you know, when I'm watching my wife work, I was like, you know what? I gotta dedicate this one to her. You know, I dedicate this chairman to my wife, because watching her put in the work inspired me as a student. See, listen to what I'm about to say to you guys, right? See, you got to understand, it doesn't matter who God sent in your life. You have to be disciplined. It just happened to be my wife. So guess what? I used everything that she told me. As many times that I was hard headed at not really listening, I finally got it. I finally got it, right? And now it's turned into what? Chairman. And that's what we all have to do as well. She's also my mentor as my wife. See, you have to remove yourself out of yourself sometimes to see the bigger picture. And that allows you to go all the way up, right? So now the work really begins for me. Now I see what she sees, right? So that's what I want you guys to do. You know, go ahead and like put some sevens in the chat for Dr. Chyna, because all of us, just like you just heard my brother just speak about my wife as a mentor. You know, that's dope. That we all could take, you know, some of this great, you know, teaching and all of these great tools and impeccable leadership that we have and become, you know, great leaders and entrepreneurs. And that's, I'm in my polo pajamas right now. Guess what? I'm still hustling, right? The hustle is hustle. It's Chairman 100 season. We got a lot of work to do, all of us, right? There's no level of comfort. When you go chairman, that's when you cut it up a notch. There's no level of comfort. Their party's over. Get right back to work. Let's get right back at these charts. So thank you so much, Dr. Chyna. The experience in the Rich University culture is I can't even, you know, and I'm not speaking just as being married to Dr. Chyna. I'm talking about in business, right? Right. And that's what we got to do. We have to honor each other and give each other our flowers while we're here. So I love each and every one of you guys out there. Thank you so much, Doc. And all the leaders that's on right now, man. Let's run it up. To all my brothers out there who's the married husbands, let's go. Let's tap in. Let's get it. Let's get it right. Let's support our wives. Let's all our families go family. Let's follow this blueprint that God has used Dr. Chyna to give to the community, and we all could duplicate. All make. Let's go. I'm out.
Wow, thanks so much for that, babe. I really appreciate your impeccable perspective. I'm just humbled at really just listening and learning and continuing to glean from you and just seeing the incredible growth. Guys, you heard him talk about chairman and you heard Kirk talk about, you know, ranking up. And what does that mean? Because this whole conversation has really been about how you could utilize this product and this vehicle. But I'm so humbled to know that my husband has not only just watched, you know, me inside of this space, but he's really applied the information and has been able to now do something that's really extraordinary. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. So I love you, babe. I appreciate you. We're still celebrating and saluting you, not just for hitting the rank, but also the work ethic of saying, listen, we've helped this amount of people, but we got a lot more people to help. And so the job is not done, the work is not done. So I love you and I appreciate you guys. I want to show you something really quickly. I want to show the busy professional, the student that's on a go. You hear people talking about leaving jobs. And I heard Kirk say made more money than he has in many companies that he's ever done. And he didn't tell you a number, but that's okay. For the person that's really busy, what you're looking at right now is a broker that you would use. We have several brokers to choose from, but this is what it looks like to actually enter into a trade. Some of you assume that what we're doing takes a long time. Some of you assume that what we're doing takes a lot of money. Some of you assume that what we're doing is so hard. And I want to remove that from your mind. It's actually a lot of fun. If you guys are having fun making money with us, drop sevens in the chat. Better yet, drop threes in the chat. If you're having fun making money with us, if you're like, man, I cannot believe that this is working, it's very exciting. So listen, we have apps that you download. I'm not looking at any apps. I'm not on with an educator. I didn't look at any geopolitical activities to analyze the charts. I just want to show you the simplicity. So I don't know if this trade is going to go into profit or not. Don't worry, you're not taking trades from me. But what I want to show you is from a mechanics perspective, the simplicity of what it looks like to go in a trade. So this right here tells us the currency pairs that we're trading. You'll get this from the educators. You'll get this from the apps that you download, like HFX swipes, okay? When you become a member, it'll tell us where to enter into the market and whether we're going to buy it or sell it, or in this case, call it or put it. Now, once again, I don't know what the market going to do, but I'm going to say that it's going to go up. If the market goes up above this green dotted, this green horizontal line in the next couple of seconds, because I put in a 30-second trade, then I made money. If it doesn't, this dot, if it's not above this green horizontal line, when it closes out, I didn't make money. And it's just that simple. Now, the trades can last from 30 seconds to a minute or even a lot longer. Bottom line, if this dot that you see right here stays below this green line, guess what? I didn't make money on this trade, but it doesn't matter. The point was, how much time did it take me to press that button to go into that trade? It didn't take me but 2 seconds, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, when you have access to the educators, access to the software, it increases your winning probability of winning every trade. Now, bam, the trade just closed. As you can see, I did not win that trade. Now, this is a demonstrational count, so that it's okay. It's okay that I didn't win that trade. It's also okay because I would not have done that with my real money. I would not have guessed and just pressed the button. The purpose of me showing you that was so that you can see that could have been $1,000 won. That could have easily been $1,000 just like that. That was won inside of the market simply because I had access to a tool that told me what currency pair to trade, that told me when to enter the market, that told me how much time to set the market at. And in that time frame, it would have determined if I would have won that trade or not. So the purpose is to show you the simplicity of pressing buttons and knowing which button to press inside of the market. So this is what you're paying for when you get the opportunity to partner with us. Does that make sense? So now, with that being said, I want to show you one more thing, and then we're going to go straight into, oh, they got people waiting in the wait room. I want to show you one more thing, because some of you have been hearing that we have an amazing trading plan, guys. We are known for this trading plan right here. Our trading plan is not just numbers on the piece of paper. We really go a little bit further and deeper than just numbers on the paper. But every member that becomes a part of Rich University will have access to our official trading plan. This trading plan is so powerful because it provides you a GPS. So what I just showed you was the vehicle. Now I'm going to show you the GPS that's going to take you from where you are to ultimately where you want to be. Now it's time for you to start thinking about, where do you want to close out the year 2021? Like, I don't know why you thought you came to this call, but for real, you're here for freedom. You're here to accomplish goals that you set out to accomplish. So whether it's you firing your boss, whether it's you paying off some student loan debt, whether it's you getting a down payment to purchase a home, whether it's you paying your home off, whether it's you buying a car, whether it's you just putting up a certain amount of money, whether it's you putting your child through school, whatever that is, for those of you that don't mind sharing, drop some of it in the chat. I'm interested in seeing what are some of your goals this year, 2021. It's very important that you start to see these goals, have these conversations, have a community that's going to hold you accountable to actually achieving these goals. Very important. So if you don't mind sharing, drop it in the chat what some of your goals are. Okay, paying off your house, I love that. Identify what that number is, right? Purchasing a home, I love it. All of the above, I know that's right. Okay, write down what your goals are. Buying some land, I love it. Retiring your husband and yourself, getting a bigger house and leaving your job, walking away from your job and paying off your home, a new car, retiring, buying a home and a car, paying off your new ride, firing your boss, I love it. Buying some land, amazing. This is the most important element of our conversation. I don't care the vehicle that I showed you. I don't care the GPS that I'm about to show you. And I don't care what the keys cost you. What's most important is your goal. What's most important is your vision. What's most important is the things that really excite you, that's on the inside of you, that inspire you, okay? So I love this. Now watch this, guys. I'm going to show you how the vehicle that I just provided And this GPS can help you to achieve what's important to you, because everything, you know, not the same things are important to us all, okay? Somebody said retiring early. So I want to show you what some of the members in our community are doing. What some of the members in our community are doing is they're starting an account, holding each other accountable with about $300. Now you can start with more, you can start with less. That's totally up to you. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you started an account with $300. Watch this, guys. This is what everybody gets when they become a member, to hold you accountable, but also to provide you a guide. Now, if you start a trade account with $300 and your goal is to grow at 10% a day, day one, your goal will be to make $30. Day two, your goal will be to make $33. Day three, your goal would be to make $36. And by the time you got down to day seven, that account could have potentially grown to $584.62. That means that day you had a $53.15 trading day. Now, for the members that are here, if you've ever made $53 in the market with us, go ahead and just drop 53 in the chat, okay? 53 to chat. Guess this is for you. Check out the chats, okay? Now, by the time you get down to day 14, that account could have grown to $1,139.25. Why? Because that day you made $100 in that day, okay? If you've ever made $100 with us, members, okay, put 100 in the chat so that the guests could just have an idea. I know if I was watching this as a guest inside of a private community exclusively, I would just be curious of the earning potential. Right? We're going to talk about some details in just a moment. Now, listen, by the time you get down to day 21, that account could have doubled to $2,220. Why? How is this possible? Because your money is growing 10% a day, utilizing the vehicle that we just showed you, utilizing the apps that you would have access to, utilizing the educators that are in the back office that's going to tell you optimal entry points inside of the market, what zones you need to be looking at. Does that make sense? So if you've ever made $200 with us, just drop 200 in the chat. By the time you get down to day 28, $4,326.30. So when you heard Kirk say that all he did and all he's doing is duplicating the plan, this is the plan. Somebody say, this is the plan. This is the plan that allows you to say, okay, I'm starting with this amount of money. My goal is to grow at 10% a day. So every day, you know what your goal is to make that day. And now what's happening is your money is constantly compounding. Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. But he who does not understand compound interest, guess what they do? They pay it in car loans and home loans and student loans and credit card loans. So we're now showing you how to earn money on your money. How would you like for money to work for you opposed to you just working for money? Because that's what this is allowing you to do. So now watch this, day 35. You're at $8,430.73. Day 42, you're at $16,429.11. Guys, you just now at that point are having $1,000 trading day. A lot of people, once they have their first $100 day, the next goal, we're only talking about goals right now. The next goal is for them to have $1,000 trading day. Using this trading plan, you can have an idea and a guide of when that can happen for you. Now watch this, guys. By the time you get down, because these numbers are starting to add up quickly. By the time you get down, okay, to day number 48, you're at 29,000, 29,000. And by the time you get down to the 60th day, this account has grown to $83,040.45. Now, here's the reality. This is the trading plan. But the reality is usually nothing on this side of heaven happens perfectly. So what we've done is embedded in risk. Why? Because if you know anything about investing, I've been investing for 15 years. If you know anything about investing, you know that there's always risk in investments. So what we've done is we've embedded in the risk because it's very important to have proper risk management. See, where there is great risk, there is great reward. Where there is great risk, there is great reward. So if you guys have not learned to become risk takers, then you're going to always play it safe and you're never going to have anything above average. I'm just going to be transparent with you. Because where there is great risk, there is great what? Reward. But the thing is having proper risk management. So what did we do? We've embedded in 2% risk on your balance of every trade that you put in. So when you go in for your goal to make $30, you know, because you have a $300 balance, that your risk is $6 going in. That means the market could go against you because we don't control the market. We know that every trade we put in is not going to go into profit. Perfect scenarios would, even though I guessed, right, and just showed you for demonstration purposes, that trade did not go in profit. So what that means is by the time you get down to day 60, my question to you is, how many of you would be okay if, even though your goal was to make 83,000 from your 300, if you got 50% of it wrong and all you made was 40,000 off of your $300, growing it, utilizing the tools, the software, the educators, and applying yourself? Drop sevens in the chat if you say, shoot, give me, hey, we still got time in 2021 to make this happen, right? If you would be exactly. So even with 50% wrong in any other situation, you failed, but here you literally grew $300 to $40,000 in 60 trading days with 50% error. This is the plan that we're going to give you. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm a little bit different. I'm from New Orleans. I gave you guys a little bit of my background. I'm the kind that want to make sure it's not like one of those things. You know those things I'm talking about. You know those things where they make you wait 35 and 40 years to touch your money, called 401ks and IRAs. Yeah, you know, I want to make sure that this right here is not like one of those things where they say it's my money, but it's really not my money, because if I want to touch my money and if I need my money, they penalize me for taking my money. So just in case, I'm the kind, I want to make sure I could touch my money, because if it's mine, I should be able to do what I want with it, right? So if I were you on the journey of 300 to 40,000, I will pull out some of that money to make sure I could touch some of that money. So let's just say you only reinvested of the 40,000, 5. You kept the 35,000 and did whatever you wanted to do with it. That's your money. That's your business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't see your money. I don't know what you're making. All you're having access to from us is the educational platform. We don't touch your money. You don't give us money. Does that make sense? So now you decide to reinvest $5,000. And what happens? Now you're going to do the same thing with a bigger amount of money. You're going to grow at 10% a day. So 5,000, now you got 500 day 1, day 2, 550, day 3, 605. Why? Because that's 10% of your balance of $6,655. By the time you get to day 7, you're at $9,743.59. Did you see this, guys? Is it making sense? By the time you get down to day 14, 18,000, day 21, 37,000, day 28, 72,000. What? Guys, this is what Albert Einstein is talking about all those years ago. He said compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, he said the 8th wonder of the, if you can just get this, your life will be changed forever. If you could just learn to discipline yourself. The biggest challenge that we have inside of Rich University is not the ability for you to grow the money. It's the ability for you to know when to walk away, to not get greedy, to not over leverage, to not revenge trade. I believe that success is 80% mindset, 20% skill set. So why? We are heavily helping you and guiding you mentally. You heard Kirk talk about it. You heard my husband talk about it. You heard Caressa talk about it. You heard Amaya talk about it, right? So guess what happens by the time you get all the way down to your 60th trading day? Now, 60 trading days is more like 90 real days in the market. This is why you have people inside of our community that's on a mission to growing $300 to $1 million in 12 months. Will everybody get it? No, they won't. No, they won't. Some will, some won't. Some will come really close. Some will get 100,000. Some will get a little less. Some will get a little bit more than $1 million. But even if you got this wrong, so if 60 trading days is more like 90 real days in the market, you're only at 6 months at this point, just for doing this cycle twice. You did 2 cycles that took you to 6 months. You got 6 more months to get it right if you totally mess this up. Not only that, guys, we embedded in right here what I like to call a job equivalent chart. Many of you wanted to leave your jobs. Many of you wanted to retire. But what would be the plan? Let's take the goal from just an idea or just a vision or just a dream. And now let's put a plan to it. So what that means is what we provide to you inside of this Rich University trading plan is the ability to now see what's required. If you're making $12.50 an hour and you're working 40 hours a week, all you would need to do is get to the point where you're making $100 a day to replace that income. That's $500 a week, $2,000 a month. If you're making $31.25 an hour on your job, working 40 hours a week, all you would need to do is get to the point where you're making $250 a day, $12.50 a week. If you're making $62.50 an hour on your job, working 40 hours a week, all you would need to do is get to the point where you're making $500 a day trading. Does that make sense? So this is what you have access to. Now, for the sake of time, ladies and gentlemen, because we had some amazing testimonies, I want to just tell you what it takes to get started, what it takes for you to get on involved in this opportunity, get started with us so that you can start winning and making money on this platform, so that you can start learning, so that you can have access to this digital platform that's helping people to really change their lives, right? So I highly recommend the elite package. So here's what happens. You get back with the person who invited you. They have a link. Very important for the, listen, remember at the beginning, I said, where the decision makers at? Now it's time to make the decision. So many people, unfortunately, have been taught not to think. Dangerous not to think. So much so that when it's time to think, to make a simple decision, they start to say, let me see what somebody else think. Somebody say, that's not going to be me tonight. I'm helping somebody right now. Somebody said, that's not going to be me tonight. Why? God has given you a brilliant brain to utilize and think with. You heard the information. You're here. So to go ask somebody else what they think that's not even here is dangerous. Somebody said that would be dangerous. So the elite package is what I highly recommend, right? Why? Because it's going to give you access to the FRX Academy. It's going to give you access to the HFX Academy. It's going to give you access to the DCX Academy, as well as all of the apps that allow you to make money by literally getting trade ideas sent to your phone. So what that looks like is you download the Swipe Coin app. You can actually go right now to your Apple Store or your Google Store and download Swipe Coin, right? Just as it's seen here. So when you download that app and you are a member, now what happens is this app is going to say, boom, boom, buy USD Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin USD right now. You would have not even known of thinking about that. It's going to tell you where to enter it at, right? It's going to tell you where to close out that trade to take your profit. Normally that would be $49 just for that one app alone. You'll have access to swipe trades. Normally that's $22 just for that one app alone. But when you have the elite package, you get all of this. And normally it's $984.30 a la carte for each one of these individual academies and apps. But tonight we give you a discount for $659.36. Somebody say tonight. Tonight we give you a discount for $659.36, and all you pay is $324.94. Guys, let me tell you something. When I saw this right here was what you call a no-brainer. You mean to tell me to have access to a community that's going to hold me accountable, that's going to have the kind of conversation that I need to have to help me to achieve my goals? Is you talking about a $300,000 or $300,000 investment? $300? So here's the thing. Somebody got on this call when they first got on because they was interested. Now, because they have the information, they're not interested. They're ready to make a decision. Somebody say, now I'm ready to make a decision. You went from interested, you got the information, you got a whole tour. Somebody say, now I'm ready to make a decision. I'm helping somebody. Somebody say, now I'm ready to make a decision. Because now we're talking about a decision that some of you pay for bundles. This is bundles before installation, ladies. If you know, you know. There's some Jordans, fellas. Some of y'all, there's some crab legs and a good weekend out. The decision makers have to know when it's time to decide. Somebody say, this is the time to make the decision. I heard the information. In this one setting, you're not going to learn everything because this wasn't designed for you to learn everything. It was designed to expose this to you, right? It was designed to expose the information to you so you can decide to learn. Does that make sense? So you didn't come tonight to learn everything. This is a whole world. There's no way to learn everything in 45 minutes. But there's enough information that you have now to make a decision. Does that make sense? So now it's time to make the decision of, are you worth $324.94 to have access to the #1 educational platform in the world for digital money? That's the real question. Now, what we've done, so you're not paying $3,500 up front, we've broken it down. You pay $324.94 tonight. Why? Because we wanted to make it affordable and available to the masses. Remember, I told you who my heart was for. Women of color and minorities, they got a lot of responsibilities. So if I were to say, hey guys, it's $3,500, how many of you would have been out in this moment? It just would have been tough, maybe with life and everything going on, to make the decision. Some of you could have still got in. Why? Because the value was high. It would have been easy. You'd have been like, that's a no-brainer. But because our heart is for women of color and minorities, we said, listen, let's break it down. They paid $324 one time, and then 28 days later, they pay $274.95 to continue their access. But we offer them a scholarship for somebody that may be in between their millions. So if you're in between your millions right now, and $324.95 is a no-brainer, but now you like, dang, that $274, I'm just not sure how long it's going to take for me to get it. We've already considered you, my love. We've already considered you. So we offer a scholarship to those. Some of you, it's a no-brainer. You don't need a scholarship. You'll pay everything up front right now if we told you to. Others are saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to get in, and in my first 30 days, I'm going to make sure I make enough money to cover the $274, or $274 is clearly a no-brainer. If you got to take it from whatever you already have, it's okay, right? But if that's not you and you like the $274 a month, I'm just not sure. I don't want you making a decision tonight about $274. Your decision tonight is about $324. What am I saying? Tonight, the only thing you pay is $324.95 to have access. If you are concerned about $274.95, you got a money problem right now, and that's okay. That's okay to have a cash flow issue. That's why we're here. This is a solution to the problem. The problem is cash flow. There's not enough cash flowing in. So $274, if that's a concern for you, we want to remove that, right? So your goal, $324 tonight, let's get you in a position quickly to either earn a scholarship where you don't have to pay the $274, or learning the skills so we could potentially put you in a position to cover it with the access that you have. Does that make sense? The goal for this is not for this to be a bill. It's for it to help to pay your bills. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to remind you as to why you're here. Now, with that being said, it's time for you guys to decide. It's time to decide. For those of you that are guests on, you should drop 7s in the chat if you're ready to get started, so that the person that invited you, they would know who's serious versus who's curious. And it's okay. This is informational call, coming to get the information. But it's important if you're ready to get started, because remember, that trading plan that we just showed you, they're already moving in that. And we like to move together for accountability. So drop 7s in the chat for those of you that are guests that are ready to get started, because the year is going to be over in a couple of months. So you want to maximize as much time as possible to go from $300 trading in a community where people are holding you accountable, so you can have a very merry crypto Christmas. Now, that's a sexy Christmas right there. Now you're putting yourself in a position to now have a plan. Now you got the goals that you set, but what's the plan of action? Drop 7s in the chat for those of you that are guests. I see you guys right now. Shaquille, Tasha, Destiny, a few iPhones, Jalea, Rita. I see you guys. Drop 7s in the chat for those of you that are ready to take action. Remember, you're the decision maker. So now you got to just think in your mind and your brain what you think. If you have questions, you have mentors and coaches that are standing by to answer those questions for you, to help you to make a decision to get started with us, right? Once again, we do offer that scholarship. Now, there's some of you here, and I'm only going to spend maybe about 3 minutes on this part. I would be remiss not to. There's too many people on here. They got to have some bosses and entrepreneurs and CEOs here. Most of you will be customers or just students, right? That's what the product is for. But a few of you are mission-based. A few of you really want to do what we do in helping to get the word out, because maybe your heart is for the community. Maybe you want to help more people have access to this world. Maybe you know people who will really benefit from this. So this part will be for you. Now, if you're just a student, this is not for you. But if you are a CEO already, an entrepreneur, business minded, you are really going to appreciate this part. Now, we must evaluate everybody who works with us. So you don't just get an opportunity to tap into this, but I got to show this to you. For those of you who are mission-based, we have a mission to impact 1 million families. And if you see the value in what we provided tonight and you want to help us achieve that goal and that mission, we will financially reward you very attractively, very handsomely. That means if you shared this call and a few people got on with you and they say, I want to join, we would evaluate and consider you for being what we call an IBO, where you become partners with us. And what that means is because you are helping to get the word out and helping us to achieve our goal and our mission of impacting 1 million families around the world, we will pay you a commission of $150. Now, when that 3 grows to 10, because you know how people do, when they got some good information, they can't keep it to themselves. They're going to talk about this because it's exciting. They're going to talk about this because they're going to like their results. They're not going to be able to retain themselves. You heard exactly what Kirk said. For his birthday, he's so excited because his birthday was also a celebration of a pay increase. So when your 3 grows to 10, now you're rewarded with an extra $600 a month. You might say, well, that's not much. Well, you ain't do much. So that's $7,200 a year raise you got. Let's put it into perspective. If you walked into the human resource office and say, give me a $7,200 raise, you might have a problem. Okay, now you just gave yourself a $7,200 raise from simply sharing information, getting people on a call like this. Now, when that 10 grows to 23, you're now making $1,000 a month in residual income for a family of 23. Now, this is not 23 people that you personally have exposed to this that said yes. This is 23 people collectively. When that 23 grows to 56, you're making $2,000 a month residual income. When 56 grows to 168, $5,000 a month. And when that 168 grows to 372, you're at the position that you just heard my husband mention that we just celebrated for him independently, which is Chairman 10, which is $10,000 a month in residual income. I'm breaking down to you the compensation plan of the Academy right now, showing you what is available for those who qualify. Does that make sense? And as you can see, the compensation plan gets a lot bigger, but if you cannot wrap your mind around this, there's no need for us to go down further. So I wanted to provide that to those of you who are business-minded, CEOs, entrepreneurs who are looking to become a digital entrepreneur, to have a link in your bio to maximize this time. So what do you do now? Now the ball is in your court. Now it's time to take action. We're giving you guys an opportunity to join us tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon for every member that's in, to jumpstart you to be able to grow your accounts. Now, what we do is give everybody a demonstration account in the beginning. So those of you that get started tonight, we want to have you set up by tomorrow so that you can actually start practicing entering and exiting trades. That's what we want to do. We want you to start practicing entering and exiting trades so that once you're comfortable and ready, you can transition from a demonstration account to a live account where you put whatever amount of money you want into that account, right? And start to grow that money so that by Christmas, you could potentially be celebrating with us with a Merry Crypto Christmas. So get back with the person, not now, but right now. If you don't do nothing else, just say thank you for sharing this information with me. If you're watching this on another platform, text them, DM them now. Whoever page you're watching this on, text them and say, thank you so much for this information. For those of you that are ready, say, I'm ready, send me the link. I'm ready, send me the link. You should be texting it right now. I'm ready, send me the link. Once you text, I'm ready, send me the link. At that point, they're going to send you a unique link. I know that's right. They're already saying thank you in the chat. I see you guys, right? They're like, thank you. I appreciate you. In fact, thank the person right now who invited. I see y'all. They're thanking you, Kirk. They're thanking you, K. Marie, okay? Thank the person right now in the chat who invited you to hear this information. Or if you're watching this on a platform, thank the person on wherever you're watching this at for allowing you to see this information. If nothing else, thank them. They're thanking you, Angela, right? Shaquille said, I'm ready. Send me the link, okay? I'm ready, send me the link. So people are making decisions right now. We want to help you through that process and making that decision. Don't be afraid to thank the person who got you here. Just say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the link. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for telling me about this call. Thank you. Christian, they're thanking you right now. Okay. So get back with them. Thank them. And if you're ready to get started, then say, Dr. Carter, they're saying thank you, right? Say, listen, I'm ready. Send me the link. Once they send you the link, you're going to then take 5 minutes or less to get started. You'll have immediate access, right? They say, thank you, Pastor Walker. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Shane. Okay. You'll have immediate access. We'll get you set up with a demo account so that you can start trading with us tomorrow at noon or tomorrow at 10. There's several other times that the educators are trading, but inside of Rich University, we've customized the experience that really helps for accountability in helping you to close out 2021, okay? Somebody said, thanks, Lynn, okay? So with that being said, this is Dr. Chyna Bethley in Atlanta. I am so excited for your yes, for your win, for your bolding, because listen, if you're going to be successful, it takes courage. Success requires courage, right? Success requires courage, it requires bravery. So I want to congratulate you now for your boldness, for your bravery of making a decision to say yes to something that will absolutely change your life. With that being said, God bless you guys. Have a phenomenal night. I look forward to seeing you on the inside and celebrating you. Tomorrow trade show is going to be amazing, helping you to win, helping you to learn, and helping you to earn at the same time. God bless you guys. Have a phenomenal night. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. God bless. Good night. Bye, guys.